The first time that he did this to me, the very first time that he inserted himself inside of me and did this to me, he told me that if I told my mom that he would kill her. And from that day on, I could not even bear to even come out of my mouth and tell my mom what was going on with me because of what he said. And I believed him because he used to already hit her. What's good, y'all? It's your girl Val, and I'm back with another one. Today is... What's today? Today is Tuesday, December the 8th. And I'm on the pathway of forgiveness. I'm on a pathway of self-growth. I'm on a pathway of... I'm on a pathway of keeping away negative energy, especially when I know it's not healthy for me. As you can see from that title below, this is first of all, I'm gonna do a poem, and then I'm gonna do a story time about the events that happened. I feel like this video will help me with my self-love process. This video will also help others with their self-love process. This video will teach other kids to talk to their parents when things like this is happening to them. This video will help me honestly forgive this guy for what he did to me. I told myself I wasn't gonna cry when I came into this video and it's happening, but I'm gonna continue with this video. I'm gonna continue with it because, like I said, I'm on a pathway to forgiveness. And at the end of this video, I will speak his name. I will speak his name because I hope that he did not do this to any other girls. I hope that he didn't affect anybody else in this kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah. So like I said, this will be a poem. I am going to say a poem about what happened to me, and I'm also going to do a story time after I do that poem. Without further ado, let's get into this video. This poem I wrote when I was just 11 years old. It caused a lot of pain in my life because, first of all, making friends, it was hard for me to make friends. It was hard for me to keep friends. It was hard for me to trust people. It was hard for me to trust my own mother. It was hard for me to trust men, to even have a real conversation with a man. I want to break a lot of barriers with this video. So this is why I'm doing this video today. And I'm going to begin with my poem. The name of the poem is called When I Was Younger. Okay, I'm ready. All right. Like I said, this poem is a poem that I wrote when I was 11 years old. I held on to this poem for so long. Like, this is like the 18th paper that this poem ever have been on. I just recently started with this poetry book right here. I only have one poem in this book that I just started this year in 2020. I'm hoping in 2021 I move on to a different level of my life, away from the situation, not thinking about it no more. Also correcting the way I communicate with men. Like I said, I wanna grow. You know what I mean? So yeah. The name of this poem is called When I Was Younger. When I was younger. When I was younger, it wasn't very fun. Because of the life I had, it was kinda sad. Living with no dad. The things that got me was the things I had to give to that nasty, stink, dirty pig. It was a special thing that I'm supposed to save until I get married. My virginity. He took it and he told me if I told my mother he would kill me. And I believed him, so I didn't. I was scared and I cried because it felt so nasty inside. It was more than once. I was 7 and he did it until I was 11. It's no way he's going to heaven. He was on drugs, see, and it bugs me because all I wanted was my dad. But he was nowhere to be found when my heart fell to the ground. I knew hope wasn't gone. So I started going to church and I learned that God was my dad and I had him all along. Alright, y'all, so I hope y'all enjoyed that poem. I'm actually thinking about doing an updated version to that poem because, like I said, that was when I was younger, and I wrote that when I was like literally like 11. I always told people that the events ended when I was like 11 years old, but I believe that it was around when I was 9 years old. When I was 9 years old, I remember meeting William, which is my mom's best friend. I remember meeting him around 9, 10 when I went to church. I started going to church right after this happened to me. I decided to talk about this today, not caring who or if anyone saw this video at all. I honestly wanted to get this off my chest. I honestly wanted to speak my truth. I honestly wanted to just speak about what happened to get over the situation so I can move on to a better and brighter life. Because these events, they're a part of me now, but they're not who I am. So I want to claim who I am, take who I am back. You know what I mean? I want to become all that I can be right now and be on the pathway to forgiveness. But I thought that this video would help me to I thought that it would help me to complete my healing process. Before I started this video today, I took a nice shower and I washed off all the negative energy, all the negative stuff I've been holding on me for so long. Although I took a shower last night, I took a shower again today to wipe all that stuff off. And as I'm in the shower, I started crying. Like, it was crazy. So, today's the day that I'm going to talk about the situation. Today is the day that I speak his name. Today is the day that I let him know that I forgive him. Today is the day that I let go of his negative energy that he dropped off on me years ago. Today is the day that I accept this situation as a part of me, but not who I am. Let's begin. So, I was about 6, 7 when this happened to me. Kindergarten going on to first grade type stuff. I remember at the time we were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. My mom had her own bedroom and my bedroom was basically the living room. I stayed there each and every night. All of my belongings was also in that living room. So I basically had no private space. In that 1-bedroom apartment, it was me, my mom, and her boyfriend. We basically all lived there together. I remember that night that I went to sleep. I went to sleep and I remember being woken up that night. I remember him tapping me and waking me up. Not to mention I'm already scared of this dude because of events that happened before that night. He used to put his hands on my mom when I was a kid. He used to hit her. Black and blues, everything. I would literally come home from school to him beating her up. So yeah, he woke me up that night. As he woke me up, I remember waking up, getting up, and I also remember him inserting himself inside of me at that young age, and moving me in the positions that he wanted me to move in. I do remember that it was painful. It was painful and it hurt. After the first time that this happened to me, my vaginal area used to hurt. It used to burn. It used to itch. I used to scratch it. You know what I mean? So I remember that I cried. I remember that it hurted. I knew that he was touching me inappropriately. And I didn't tell her because I was scared of him. I honestly was scared of him. It was her boyfriend, and he did it more than once. Once he was done that night, I remember it happening over and over and over and over again until I was about 9 years old. I can't count how many times it happened. I don't know. And that's one thing that always troubled me in my mind. I would always wonder, how many times did he do it? Only thing I can remember is that it happened over and over and over again. I remember going to bed and being scared every night that I was going to be waking up out of my sleep every night. I would be scared. Sometimes I wouldn't even want to go to sleep, honestly. I just remember being afraid. I was really scared at that age. I was scared. I was afraid. I didn't know if she was gonna believe me or not. I didn't know if she was gonna be able to protect me the way I needed her to, because I didn't see her protect herself. So I didn't know if she was gonna be able to protect me the way I needed her to, honestly. And that's the reason why I didn't tell my mother. And honestly, her reaction made me realize how much she loved me. Remembering, and then going through what I went through with her in the past, and remembering that part of this action, like what was going on, that part right there made me realize how much she loved me. Like, Mom, I want you to know this right now, that I love you, and I know that this wasn't your fault. I know this wasn't your fault, and I love you for protecting me after the event and make sure nothing happened to me after. But I just want you to know that this wasn't your fault, and I want you to stop blaming yourself. I love you. The last time that it happened to me, my mom caught him. She caught him in action. When she walked into the house, he had just put me on top of his lap, and she walked through the door, and oh hell broke loose. Like when she walked through that door, she's like, "What the hell are you doing to my daughter? What the hell are you doing to my daughter?" She grabbed me up, grabbed my hand. As she grabbed my hand, she grabbed me and put me towards the door. And when she was asking him a question and questioning him, once she grabbed my hand, she took me outside. Once she grabbed my hand, she took me outside. We went to the store, and I remember her questioning me, asking me. She was like, "Valerie, what did he do to you? What did he do to you? Did he touch you? Have he ever touched you?" And I told her, "Yes, he touched me." I let her know that he touched me. I let her know from that moment on that, like, she knew that what was going on. And after I told her, she kicked him out. She kicked him out, and she called his parole officer on him because he was already in trouble with the law. She called his parole officer on him. After she called his parole officer on him, they knew what was going on, and he was gone. And I guess from there he was on a run. That incident, like after she did what she did, I was happy. I was happy. I'm not gonna lie, I was real happy because she believed me. Two, she saw me on his lap. And from that moment on, my mother was very strict on who I was around and who lap I was sitting on. She was crazy about that. Like, ever since then, she would always say, "Don't sit on men's lap. Don't do this." From that moment on. Before this incident, I was not told not to sit on a man's lap. I wish I was, but I wasn't told at that moment. And if I was, what would I have done at 6 or 7? What would I have done? But my mother went crazy when she walked through that door. Had I known she would get like that and have the balls to leave him then, I would have been told her what happened to me. I would have been knew that it was okay to tell her. But the thing about it is that my mom was so involved in other things that I didn't think that she would even care. And that's the honest truth. That's why I didn't go to her. Because we didn't talk on that kind of level when it came to that kind of stuff. She never asked me if anybody ever touched me. I didn't even know what that even meant. At 6 years old, I didn't know what, did somebody touch you down here? I didn't even know what that even sounded like. We didn't have that kind of lingo. You know, when a parent, they know how to talk to their child. Listen, baby, don't let nobody touch you down there. We didn't have those conversations at that time. Because it wasn't a thought in her mind that this would ever happen. You know what I mean? It wasn't thought in anybody's mind. And honestly, Mom, it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault, and it's not mine. And this is why I'm on the road to forgiveness, because for so long I was so mad at you for this very reason. But it wasn't your fault. And honestly, I really want to tell you that I appreciate you even asking me if I wanted to go to counseling or not. That right there meant something alone. Like that right there meant something to me. From a young child, you asked me, did I want to go to counseling? And I told you no. But honestly, I should have had went. But eventually I ended up going. But that's one thing I really want to tell you, that I appreciate you for asking me if I wanted to go to counseling. You offered the services to me. And a lot of kids don't get that. And I appreciate that. From the event from right after my mom caught him, 2nd grade until like 9 years old. What grade is that? Like 3rd, 4th grade. So from 2nd grade to 4th grade, I would act out a lot in class, and that was basically because of what was going on at home. I was acting out in school because of that. And I remember one of the events of me acting out, they told my mom what I was doing in school. You ever heard that when they back in the days when they had like, especially Black African American children, they acting out or being bad in school, they end up putting the child in special ed? That happened a lot when I was growing up. Like a lot of kids my age that happened to. Like there's a lot of kids my age that happened to, and I was one of them. But the only thing about it was I wasn't acting out because I was a bad child or because I couldn't learn. I was acting out because I was going through something at home that I couldn't express to anybody else. So before you point at your child and think that something's wrong with them, make sure you find out what's going on with them. Around that time, I didn't have anybody who I could really talk to. Around that time, I was being teased by other kids, so they didn't even know what was going on with me at home. So I was struggling with making friends at school and struggling with this. Then I was struggling with my mom being mean to me, not understanding why I was doing certain things. Most of the times, I was acting out because of what happened to me, you know what I mean? So that took a toll on my life. Then going to my grandma's house and her being mean, and then she was like, every time when something would happen, she'd be like, "You're always crying, you're always crying. Every time I say something to you, you're always crying." But didn't realize that I'm sensitive to anything that anybody tell me now because of what happened to me. It took a toll on my life. But nobody was understanding, or nobody knew what was going on. I mean, I'm thinking like maybe if I told somebody at that time, would they had understood what I was going through at the time? Alright, y'all, so this is the ending of my video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, comment down below. If I have helped you in any kind of way, maybe get closure or want to speak your truth, hit that thumbs up. And if you are a child and this is happening to you, talk to a parent. And if you know somebody who's been through the same thing, share with them. Maybe they'll be on the pathway for their healing as well, and to want to heal themselves and want to grow from that situation and want to just become better. Because honestly, having hateful thoughts is a terrible way to live. And if you have made it to the end of this video, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, I'm out. Speak your abuser's name. A lot of times they get away with it, and they do it again to another young child. Speak that name so that they won't do it again.